Hi. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'll say hi to everyone first. I'm so glad to see you. I hope I can keep up the earlier start time at 8 a.m. Hi, Leah, Moose, Darren, Carol, Elaine, Marie, Lindsay, Anne, Pink Crystal, Han, Amy, Carol, MJ, Hand Painted Paints, BTS Forever 7, Feli, Darlene, Fran. Hi. I was thinking, so Orchid, hello. So this is the first time I think that I'm doing it at 8 a.m. I hope that I can do it earlier because I know some of you who are in the East Coast who are waiting will have to stay up later than usual. So I'm trying to do it 8 a.m. this time. Sorry, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. my time, and I hope I can keep it up to make it a little easier for some of you. Dodger Girl, Shelling, Katie, Carlo, Earl, Stephen, um, V Heart, Rachel. So to everybody, we have. Oh no, sorry. I think the two extra tickets. So, you know that we have a Patreon community, and some of us actually got some really good tickets. But so for Texas, we got oh, someone actually got a suite, but I think that's sold out. I got some tickets for LA that sold out, but the general ticket sale is not done yet. And then there are two tickets in New York. It's kind of closer to the stage, so it's a little more expensive, but if you're interested, let me know. It's very close to, like, it's in the floor, but you're seated. You're not in the pit. So you're seated. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Two tickets to New York. And then I'll try to get more tickets for LA. Tessa, okay. Some people joined. V Heart, Leah again. No, it's another Leah. V Heart, Rachel, Michelle, Marielle, Pretty and Pink, Kez, Tessa, Me Too, Nikon Lady, Jin, Marielle, Raquel, Robin Carr, Kemuning, Jean Mark, JR, JJ, Me Too, Charity, and it's 5 p.m. in New Zealand. Oh, perfect. So at least by the time that I finish, then I guess you can have your dinner. How much are you taking when you say expensive? When for so this is for New York. I think it's I don't want to get it wrong, but it's 700. 1 second. It's very close to the stage. 1 second. I know that it's sold out. They were saying that they might actually open some more seats, but I'm not so sure about that. Let me see. 840, 840, 80, 840 and 80 cents. And it will be, mhm, give me 1 second. Let me see here. I actually put the seat number on my Twitter just in case you are interested. It's here. I'll share my screen so you can see. There. That's section 24, row 13, C6. So very, very close to the stage. So two tickets. If you are interested, Barclays Center, March 13, 8 p.m. So if you're interested, let me know. Section 24, row 13, 6 and 7. C 6 and 7. So let me know if you're interested in that. That's courtesy of one of our Patreon subscribers, member of the Patreon community. Anything for Japan? None yet. No ticket yet for Asia. No news about that, and not no news about the ticket for LA either. But I'll try to get more tickets per ticket or both per ticket. One for one ticket. Here. See here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's for every ticket. I'm afraid to speculate how much it'll cost for the comeback tour. Um, so if for J Hope and it is a an arena this close will be about 800. I think you're looking at right around the same amount, if not more. And then if you're thinking VIP, it's probably gonna cost you more. So, yeah, they're gonna hike up everything when BTS comes back. So for sure, it's going to be way more than that. So let me know if you are okay, let me know if you're interested in that. Um, I think that's the only one. I think there's some one more who has tickets. One second. These are just like a few of the people who are trying to let go. Like they got one is 170, but this one is in so this one is Oakland, March 31, section 211, row 11, and it's 170. So Oakland, March 31, section 211, row 11, and it is 170. So if you so everything that we're selling it's at cost, we're not earning anything. So if you're interested in that, but that's just one ticket for Oakland. My nephew is hoping to get two tickets for LA. I'm hoping to get four. Four more. But this J Hope thingy is a learning experience for everybody. I mean, at least for me, like how to have better chances at getting tickets and stuff like that. So I hope we can use everything that we learned from here and apply it when it's OT7 to increase our chances of getting tickets. Let's save and sell some furniture. How much is the Brooklyn per ticket? It's 840.80 per ticket. And it is section 24, row 13, C 6 and 7. So just let me know. I don't own this ticket. It's one of our members in Patreon. Okay, my nephew is hoping. Okay, I hope the BTS tour is something. All right. Um, I would be interested in one ticket. I have no one to go with. I am a Patreon member, but I don't log in very often because I never have time. Stephen, I will ask her if she'll be open to try to get somebody. I mean, try to get like ask around, log into Patreon, try to ask around if there's like anybody within your circle who also wants the other ticket. But I will tell her, Stephen, log into Patreon. Okay, that's a good price. Which one? For Brooklyn or for Oakland? By the end of tour, I will be Longs and hello from Panama. Hello. Okay. All right. So let's start. First, I wanted to show you our updated. I don't think I showed you this yet. So I will show you our updated um, road to 1 billion. I haven't showed you, right? I will show you now. I don't think I have. So I'll show you now. Um, and January 25 was when I last updated this. Since then, Who has gotten to 1.4 billion. And then next to that, I'm still hoping that we could actually bring back Running Wild to Billboard Hot 100. It only charted for a week. So I think if we actually get its numbers up, it can still return. So it's currently at 215,000, sorry, 215 million. And then for Fake Love and for Life Goes On, I decided to also track Life Goes On. It's both close to 900,000 streams, but Fake Love is going to be first, 879 million. And then Life Goes On, 770 million. The Astronaut for Jin is 565. And here we go again to the Yung line. Please. Can you please stream? Of course, for me, the priority right now is Who, because it's the one that's actually charting. So if we want to consistently have somebody in the chart, that would be our best chance. Plus, more than anything else, the songs actually deserves to be inside Billboard Hot 100. Full stop, right? Like no other reason necessary. It deserves to be inside Billboard Hot 100. But it, of course, you can't be streaming only that. So might as well use other songs as a filler. And if you can please use the songs of the Yung line as a filler. So for Suga, it's Hegum that we're trying to push to 1 billion. He's currently at 473 million. And then J-Hope and RM 277 and 274 million. We need to get that up. Okay. We need to push that up, please. And then we have Jimin's Set Me Free. Everyone is concentrating on Who, but it's currently at 400 million. Friends and Love Me Again. Slow Dancing, 459 and 469 million. And then 3D by Jungkook. This is the next one for him to go into Billboard, to 1 billion streams. It's 786. And then for BTS, the one that's closest to 2 billion will be My Universe at 1.3 and then Butter 1,323,000,000. Boy with Love 1,231,000,000. And that's it. And then Love Me Again finally crossed 1 billion. It's 1,018,000,000. Like Crazy is 1.3 billion. Standing Next to You is 1.1. And Left and Right is 1 billion. And then the two Road to 3 billion will be 7 of Jungkook, 2.1 billion, and then 2 billion for Dynamite. So if we can just please stream the Yung line, stream them, stream this three, Suga, J-Hope, and RM. That would be great. That's pretty good. Oh, okay. So please stream all of please stream all of them. It's just that for me, my concentration is at Who, because it is the one that's ranking inside Billboard Hot 100. So please. I also, are you seeing it? Okay. So I also started tracking their Billboard Hot 100 entry um, for their solo. Okay. So this is by age. Jin has 2 entries. Suga has 4 entries. J-Hope has 4 entries. RM has 2 entries. Jimin and V has 4 entries. And then Jungkook has 7 entries. It's just interesting to see it that way, because I actually group them, the songs that where they are the main artist with a featuring, or just the main, or just a solo, the main artist with a featuring, or main artist with somebody else, and then solo with no feature, or if they are the featured artist, and then whether or not they are actually credited as a songwriter and as a producer. For the Yung line, for the rap line, they were also the either the songwriter, co-songwriter, and co-producer on all of the songs that entered Billboard Hot 100. But for the vocal line, it's half. So for Jungkook, just one song where he's credited as a songwriter and producer. For V, also one, Winter Ahead. For Jimin, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then for Jin, one. So I just thought it was like interesting to look at. Also, let's celebrate that Jimin has been inside Billboard Hot 100 for week 26 for 26 weeks. So let's push for one more week. And then after that, let's push for one more week and then one more week. Let's just try to keep him there for as long as we can. Okay, so keep on buying, keep on streaming, and please stream premium. If you do not have a premium account, you can always get a second account. Get it funded and then just get the second account for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, for as long as we're pushing a song, right? So that you don't disturb your regular playlist with your bias, and then you have one that you can use to push a song that we are pushing. Okay, I can't do math. I'm curious how much an artist can earn with 1 billion streams. Funny you ask. It's actually one of the things that I'm going to be talking about today. um, okay, I did not expect to love Jin's music so much, Googlinators. Doll Baby 73. I've been streaming the playlist from Bora City. It has all the songs we need to stream on it. I haven't checked her list. I don't know how she structures her. So as I've said, for me, it's dominant who, because that's the one that we're trying to stream, and then everyone else as my filler. I try to be very, especially because I'm streaming through Apple Music and Amazon Music, and they don't show and they don't say anything about how they count or not count a stream. So I'm trying to be as careful as possible. I don't like streaming just one song and putting them over and over again in the same playlist. I don't want to be tagged a bot. So but I haven't seen her playlist. I just use my own. I create several. It's always good if you rotate through several playlists. Okay. By the way, stream Blood, Sweat, and Tears MV. It's near 1 billion views on YouTube. Okay. Blood, Sweat, and Tears, 1 billion views on YouTube. If you're a member of my Patreon, this morning I posted the, wait. Yeah, I don't know how to put makeup. Okay. Is it so? MG's asking, is it Bro City or Bora City? I don't know. Are those two different, like, are we talking about two different people? Anyway, so for Amazon Music and for Apple Music, they don't disclose how they are invalidating or validating as of the stream. So just be very careful. I'll discuss that. It's one of the things that I will be discussing. So, okay. I was just letting the music stream on Amazon Music, and who played between Beyonce's Levi's jeans and Die With a Smile. Oh, great. I misspelled her name at MG. Okay, where do we find Bora City playlist? I don't know. So maybe go to Spotify and then search Bora City playlist, and you'll probably see it. Okay, let's look at the big news on social media, specifically on X and on Facebook today. There is several musicians who actually came out and decided the tricks or the marketing tactics that several music labels in the US are using. And in essentially, what they are saying is that all the streams that we are seeing on Spotify and different platforms, they are all manipulated. Okay, so they called it micro publishing. Some of you may have seen the video already. Okay, here is Russ is the name. This guy is a musician, and he talked about in I think it was an Instagram live or TikTok where he talked about how Atlantic Records, specifically he named Atlantic Records, are actually paying a lot of playlisters. So I'll explain about playlisting in a bit, but listen to what he had to say.
Yeah, they be boosting the streams because they pay people to micro publish, which basically means, let's say here's 100K and you go put this song.
Okay. Did you catch a little bit of what he said? Let me do it
Yeah,
again.
they be boosting the streams because they pay people to micro publish, which basically means, let's say, here's 100K, and you go put this song.
Okay. So what he's saying is that they will allot a specific marketing budget, and that marketing budget will be used to ask to pay people to include the song in their playlists. Okay. 100,000, yeah. So
Yeah.
the thing is, now another musician actually went forward and also talked about the same thing.
Thousand albums of me and Rod Wave. And then Thursday night before the Friday count ends, 40,000 albums. Third party aggregated site.
Okay. So what he's saying is, let me do it again.
1,000 albums of me and Rod Wave. And then Thursday night before the Friday count ends, 40,000 albums. Third party aggregated site.
Okay. So what he's saying is the night before the deadline. So you know that there is a streaming week, right? The week where it is counted for a certain chart. The song he was competing with for number one suddenly got 40,000 in sales. And when they checked it, it came from a third party aggregator site. And it happened one night. So if you look at the chart, the other guy is actually leading. So on the chart, he did not get number one because someone outsold him. So I'm guessing this is Billboard 200. So it was all because of one company or one group that decided to mass buy the other album. So he didn't get number
1,000
one.
albums of me.
Now the thing is that so he's also specifically mentioned Atlantic Music Group, and this is the same label where Bruno Mars, Ed Sheeran are actually signed. So this is the reason for their layoffs, which to a lot of people was so puzzling because they have some of the biggest names in the industry, some of the biggest artists in the industry, and they are laying off workers. So, how can that happen if you have a lot of streams, if you're selling a lot of records because you're handling some of the biggest names in the industry? Why are you laying off workers? It was a huge layoff. There were 165 people who actually got fired, and the company saying that it actually resulted to 260 million savings. So the company defended their action and said, no, we're not in a bad shape. We just want to get more revenue, and that's why we're cutting more people. So if we fire more people, then we don't have to pay a lot of people. We're going to translate that into savings. Disha Jelly, isn't Rose also associated with Atlantic Records? So she is, insofar as Bruno Mars is associated in Atlantic Records. So Bruno Mars is under Atlantic Records, and Apathy was actually released. It's co-owned by Atlantic Records because of Bruno Mars. So it is being pushed and promoted by Atlantic Records. Okay. So this is another musician who was talking about it.
More blood spilt at Atlantic. 50 artists dropped from the label today, according to Ray Daniels. Not to mention Hits Magazine reporting that Julie Greenwald is running around the hallways like a chicken with her head cut off, spilling blood every.
So this guy is reporting about the layoffs. So he's saying that there are so many. It isn't just the employees that are getting fired. They're also firing singers or artists that are signed under Atlantic Records. So his point is that this is not about savings. They really are in bad shape because they aren't earning a lot. Okay, so I'm going to explain that in a bit. Now, let's go to the initial micro publishing, the thing that Russ was actually talking about. Russ, the first guy who mentioned it, he's a musician as well. So micro publishing is actually playlisting or promotion. It's part of a promotion, and it is fully legal. It is not illegal because you're basically what these companies like this one, Winter Sale, is doing. What they do is that they have thousands of people who have playlists, and these playlists have a lot of followers or listeners or subscribers. So for example, if you follow my playlists and I generate, like, if I have 50,000 people following my playlist, then I can sign up in one of these companies, and whenever there is somebody who wants to promote their song, they will distribute that to us, to those that are signed up, playlisters, to playlisters. And then if we like the song, then we'll include it in one of the playlists. So since I have 50,000, for example, since I have 50,000 followers, then 50,000 people will actually, at the very least, play your song once. Now, as we know, a lot of people don't actually pay attention to their playlists, right? You just play it and then you let it run the entire day. So, and sometimes they actually loop it. So that benefits the artist because then it's included in somebody else's playlist. What the Russ was saying is that it's so cheap to do it and so strategic. Number one, even if a playlist only has like 20,000 followers or subscribers, if you have 5,000 playlisters where your song is included, you multiply that to 20,000, and that's the amount of listeners you're going to get. But because these are real people, they're not considered bought because they aren't bought. They're actually real people. It's just that you're paying playlisters. So it's some sort of a new form of payola. So this Boost Collective is one of those companies that will accept your song and offer it to different playlisters. So as you can see, they have a promo right now. If you have a song that you want to promote, they will actually promote it for you. So it's 50% playlist promo, free $20 gift card, free 1,000 blog contact list, and free 7,000 playlist curator contact list. So this means that if you pay them whatever their pricing is, they will not just distribute it, but they will also give you the email addresses of those playlisters so that next time you can actually email those playlisters directly. Okay. Here are some of the playlisters, the companies that actually has direct contact with playlisters. Okay. So for example, this one, Playlist Push. This is how you can actually, if you want to know how many playlists you can be included in, uh, given your budget. So for example, you have 2,000. Sylvia, yes, this is for real. So for example, your budget, let's just say your budget is 5,000 here I can't go 5,000. If I push it further, it's on request. So you have 4,900 or 5 grand, almost 5 grand. If you pay them 5 grand, then they will include you in 831 playlists. For a company like Atlantic, because they are big, 5 grand is nothing. That's why Russ, the musician who was talking in the beginning, said that they throw in $100,000 and then they tell the promo person, okay, here's 100,000, include that, spend that on playlisting. So again, this is legal. These people are not bots. So these are actual playlisters and they have actual subscribers and listeners. So that's how you get the pricing. And it's very visible, as you can see, because it's not illegal. Okay. Another one is this one. Give me one. They're kind of slow. Okay. So here is their pricing. Spotify playlist pitching services. So if you have, for example, I want 200 playlists. What is my genre? Let's say hip hop. And it's happy. It'll give you the pricing. So if you want 200, you want to be included in 200 playlists, and this is your genre, then this is their quote. So that's $500. $500 will give you 200 playlists under hip hop and under the hip hop genre. Okay. So you want to, and then they ask you, you want to pay the full amount, you want to pay the deposit or whatever. Okay. Of course, the price changes depending on the genre. Let's say you go pop and you want just 100 playlists. See here, you go 100, genre is pop, and then it's sad. So it's the same price. So it's more expensive because so that there's a lot of services like this. Most common is actually Spotify because it's easier and it's the easiest and it's also the biggest. But there are other services that would offer Apple and Amazon playlisting. Nothing new under the rainbow. Yes. So here's another one. Let me see here. So here's another one, Artist Push. This is one of the most popular. So you can go here. So Spotify playlist push, you can add from $10. Imagine that. From $10, if you have a song, if you have $10, you can actually get playlisted 85. For hip hop, it's a little more expensive at $99. So different options. Now there's somebody who actually tested different playlisting. So if you want to go to his website, it's twostorymelody.com, but he tested different playlists. And here is the result. Okay. Don't get dizzy with my scrolling. I'm trying to get to his experiment, the result of his experiment. Okay. So what he did was actually put money in all of the, not all, but majority of the good playlisters. So here. But at least if you have a song and if you want it pushed, it's going to be easier for you. Okay, 1 second. Oh, there. Okay, here. Okay, so here he tested and he published the result of his test for playlist push versus you grow versus Damon Media. So he tested everything. One of the most important things that they watch out for is whether or not the algorithm is going to trigger, whether or not the playlisting is going to trigger the algorithm to recommend them to more listeners. So that's what's important to them. So for example, so this, and he put it here, triggered the algorithm. So under partner projects, no. In the Music Academy, a little radio. And then playlist push, which is one of the best, they said yes, it triggered the algorithm. So that means that because of their effort to try and include it into more playlists, the algorithm sort of recognized that there are more people listening to that song, so they will recommend that to other to other listeners. Okay, so if you want to go to his website to sort of dig deeper into it, just go to twostorymelody.com. So now someone was asking, how much do you need to earn, or how much will you actually earn for one as an artist if you get 1 billion streams, which BTS has gotten in several songs already? How much are you, and their individual members, how much are you going to earn? So this is a loose computation, specifically, especially for Spotify, because there are two pricing. One is for free and then one is for paid, right? So there are Spotify users that are not actually subscribed. So the payout for those people is lower. But anyway, this is the average. So for Spotify, if your song is played 229 times, the payout is 0.00437. And this people is the reason I do not use Spotify, because the payout is too low. Like, I understand that streaming won't pay a lot, but my God, 229 is low. However, it is not as low as YouTube, because for YouTube, you need your song to be played 1,449 times for you to get paid 0.00069. Okay. Now, the other thing that you need to remember is that this is the payout for the entire song, not for the artist. So for Spotify, once your song is played 229 times, the payout that is 0.00437 is divided into the singer, publisher, composers, producers, writers, and of course a performer. and a whole lot of other people. So that gets divided further. That's why you really don't earn from streaming. So if you have artists like um, Bruno Mars right now, who is not touring, not doing anything, as far as I know, he also doesn't have any new brand deals. The label isn't really earning because they're the money that they earn from here, they're just putting back into Spotify so that for the streams to get promoted, for the song to get promoted. Okay, here is a better explanation. For 1 billion stream, the song earns 4.4 million. Sounds like a lot, right? Sounds like a lot. But then remember, it gets divided into distributors, labels, publishers, managers, composers, producers, the artist. If you're a group with 7 members, then whatever your share is, that gets divided further into 7 members. So it really isn't a lot. Now it may be a lot for people like us, but for them, this is not a lot. This is almost not like whatever the label is going to be earning from 1 billion streams, that goes back into streaming. So for them to earn from an artist, they need more. They need IPs, they need the artist to tour, brand deals. That's how they will be earning. Okay, so here is how many streams a song needs to have for them to earn a minimum wage. Meaning, for a song to earn 14, well, right now the minimum wage in the US is a little higher than 1472, but this is the estimate number of streams a song needs to have for the person to have. I think in California the minimum wage is 16 or 20, I don't even know. So if they're using Spotify, they need to stream 336,842 to actually stream that to get a minimum wage amount salary. Now, all this being said, even Spotify itself has a program where you can pay them for them to recommend your song to more artists. And last week, I think they actually published a story. Give me 1 second. They actually published the different names of artists whom they actually pushed harder. And they said that in their article, they kind of said that um, it is actually a successful experiment for them because it's actually they said that it's actually a successful experiment because the songs that they were pushing actually ended up getting more streams. It's crazy. So Apathy is actually one of them. Give me 1 second. um okay, so that is, I know someone asked, like, isn't Rose actually involved in here? So here I'll show you. So Spotify themselves said that the experiment, the autoplay feature, the experiment actually worked because more people ended up getting listening to the songs that they were pushing. So these are the artists they experimented with. I don't know if you can see them, but there's Beyonce, Sabrina, Carpenter, The Weeknd, Teddy Swims, Dua Lipa, Bruno Mars, Miley Cyrus, Rose, and more. So they were open about the fact that autoplay feature, which is a paid feature, actually worked. So they will push the song to you and it gets played, and that's counted as a stream. So if you do not want Spotify to dictate to you what you're listening to, do not turn off your autoplay. Okay. But I heard it's very sneaky. Now, the problem with all of this is I personally consider that promotions. The problem is that the streams from all of those paid features are actually getting counted into Billboard Hot 100. So it's very deceiving. It doesn't at this stage, Billboard Hot 100 does not isn't 100% accurate. In it never was, but it's especially flawed right now. It does not actually reflect what people want to listen to because of all this manipulation of charts, of streamings, and whatever. The last time they actually, the last time Billboard actually published an explanation on how they compute Billboard Hot 100 chart, it was 2013, back in 2013. And back in 2013, they said that sales is 35 to 45%, airplay is 30, this is spins, radio spins, 30 to 40%, and streaming 20 to 30%. However, they also stated this ratio can change from week to week. So there is no standard measure for them, in other words. So they're just saying this is kind of like the loose formula, but every week they actually reserve the right to change the formula week by week. So that's how they actually end up being able to manipulate the songs that they want to push down. Talk of the charts, if you are on X, they're actually pretty good at, they're not 100% accurate, and they have gotten a lot wrong. But the thing with them is that they have a standard formula. So they know that this, the radio play is this is how much it's supposed to weigh, spins, this is how much it's supposed to weigh, streams paid versus free, this is how much it's supposed to weigh, and sales, this is how much it's supposed to weigh. Based on that, they come up with the ranking, and they have gotten several things extremely wrong, but for the most part, they're right around, they're sort of correct. Like, it's not, the difference aren't that big. As I've said, there were times when they have gotten several songs wrong, but for the most part, they're kind of within the range. So like for this week, they said that their prediction is that Jimin's Who was going to get to 26. When the chart came out, Billboard Hot 100 actually came out, it was number 25. So there were errors like that, but they have gotten some songs severely wrong as well. DIY said apathy with 185 versions and autoplay play in Germany radio thanks to Bruno. It's 240 versions. They have 240 versions. All right. Now, to add to what Atlantic is doing, Iggy Azalea actually spoke about this strategy of Atlantic Records. She said that Atlantic Records was pushing her to agree to that kind of promotion, and she refused. She didn't want to do that. Now, the country singer who was talking earlier about Atlantic Records also said that this is a strategy they also used in social media. So the followers that you see on social media, the comments, those are all paid. He said not all paid, but majority of it. So when you see like, oh, he has this many followers, he has this many comments and likes, those are paid as well. And they were forcing Iggy Azalea to actually do the same thing, and she refused to do it. So the other thing, going back to Spotify a little bit, I forgot to mention, the other thing that's also flawed is the monthly listeners. Because the monthly listeners is just whoever is just listening to your song. And for example, if you have for example, if you do a collaboration with Taylor Swift, your monthly listener is going to go up, because then people that are listening to the song she has with you will be counted as your monthly listener. So it isn't really a measure of anything substantial. Okay, now, after all this said and done, neither the label nor the artists actually make money on streams. They make money on tours and brand deals. So it isn't really a puzzle for Atlantic Records, even though they have two of the biggest names in music right now, which is Bruno Mars and Ed Sheeran. It's not surprising for them to be laying off people and to not be earning a lot of money, because neither is actually touring. And this is a personal theory of mine. I think the reason they're trying to push as many of the songs of Bruno Mars as possible right now, and I think they won't stop until they get every of his song to number one of Billboard Hot 100, because they want him to tour. I think they're planning a tour for him because they do need to earn. Someone is asking, isn't he like deep in debt? I think both the casino and he already denied that he's in debt. Anyway, so that's his side. He said he's not in debt. So I'm just going to take his word for it. Because I don't know why he would lie about it. So, and besides, like, I'm not really, like, it doesn't concern me. So I'm not really interested whether he's in debt or not. But do remember that, like, this and this is going to come in play later when we talk about HYBE and the strategy of BTS, because labels has just they have just failed to sort of make sense of streaming. By the time they caught on streaming, it was too late. This all started with Napster. I don't know if you remember, if people here are actually old enough to remember Napster, but he was the first guy who created the streaming platform. But the streaming platform allowed people to pass songs to each other. So if I have a song, I can give it to you and you can play it on your Napster. People hated him, all the labels went after him, and it was a huge mistake, because instead of working with him and looking for a solution on how they can actually maximize their earnings in view of this new technology, they tried to fight him. And by the time they beat him in court, and Napster is still alive by now, it's just a paid streaming platform, the culture was already on. Like, everyone was already used to streaming. So this is one lesson that we need to remember: when there is a new technology, we really cannot stop it. So instead of fighting it, we need to work with it, like learn how to use the technology to our advantage. Okay. Next, we let's remember that music is to be enjoyed. Okay, so at the end of the day, like, it's great that we celebrate charts and record breaking achievements and all of that. Those are great, and we should not stop. Especially because we know that it makes BTS happy. They kind of feel like they understand that this is our way of sort of showing them our appreciation. So we shouldn't stop celebrating and trying to get them on top of the charts and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's still more important for us to enjoy music. So I am not so bothered about this big labels cheating, paying for playlisting or whatever. I'm not bothered about it, because at the end of the day, fake success can't be sustained. So you can chart here, there, maybe chart three more songs, four more songs, but you won't have a legacy to leave behind if your music sucks, if you don't establish a real connection with your audience, and if you don't have a great message to leave behind. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Beyonce, for example. I extremely respect her performance, her live performances. I am so in awe of her whenever she performs live, the way that she will just put everything on the line. But at the very least, at least I know she will have a legacy, because she bothers to actually put a message in her song, and she bothers to actually make something that will connect with her audience. And the same thing is true with Taylor Swift. I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan. I won't be bothered to actually buy a ticket for her concert, but by God, the respect that I have for her, because she bothers to actually connect with her fans in a way that only she can. So when everything is gone, everyone can question the validity of her streams and achievements or whatever, but no one can question her connection to the audience. She mattered. Like, she made a difference in the lives of the people that were listening to her. And that's the same way with BTS. I don't care about who, at the end of the day, who achieved this, who achieved that. At the end of the day, can you actually really claim that you have established a great relationship with your fans? Did you change lives for the better? Did your music serve a purpose? And for as long as they do that, we should be well and good. Now, going back, so this is my point earlier, the same way the music industry failed to adopt to streams, they are failing to adopt to new ways fans consume music and artists. And I think that's what people are missing, and what artists like BTS got very early. And I think Taylor Swift also got that. Like, she got that to a T. Right now, the way that you can really establish your legacy, sustain your success, is by establishing a direct relationship with your fans. If you do not have that, you're going to be just another performer, just another artist. So I don't think it's a matter of getting more streams, getting more radio spins. I think it's a question of where is that next platform, or what is that next way, or where is the market going so that we can go there and we continue our connection with them. And that is what, as I've said, like artists like Taylor Swift and BTS are able to do. Like they continue to reinvent, they continue to look for ways on how to connect with their fans. That's why they're doing all of this re-releases, all of this documentaries. They're in games, they're in the metaverse, NFTs, all of that. They're getting into it because they know that that is the future. And these labels, they don't see it that way. That's why I think the, their game plan is always for the present instead of the future. Pink Crystal said BTS really did the right thing. They foresaw that early on from the start, and they really came up with the means and ways to connect with the fans. Correct. So I I'm going to talk about this later, but this is more on the legal side of things. There are actually four different types of partnerships between a label and an artist. And when you know what kind of deal an artist has with their label, you will understand why they are being promoted that way. So for example, for BTS, because I'm sure everyone here is a BTS fan, their label is Big Hit, right? That is their label. Their partnership with Universal is just distribution. So in my next live, I'm going to actually discuss like what is a distribution partnership, what is this kind of partnership, and whatever. So a lot of people are asking, why are they not putting it on radio? Why are they not making an effort to put it on radio? The contract will actually explain it. At the end of the day, it's about money and it's about control, because these labels don't control BTS. They can't control BTS. They also are not making any effort to try and give them anything that is more than what the contract actually requires. Right now, they are the distributor, and that's what they're doing. They're distributing for BTS. So is that a disadvantage? I don't think so. For me, I would love for BTS to actually remain an independent artist. I don't want them to be controlled or dictated. I want them to promote for sure. I want them to promote, but I don't want them to join the that kind of promotion where it's too manipulated, where where I won't be able to differentiate between their organic success and what is a result of marketing. Like, I want them to continue getting promoted, of course. I just don't, I hope they don't get to that point where it's so hard to determine whether they're getting the success that they're experiencing is organic or this is now a result of marketing. Okay. Protect Bangtan at all costs. I wish they do a better job of distribution. That I wish to. Um, Once we get into the contract, we'll know a little better. Now, the other thing is also a little hard to sort of gauge everything, because maybe this is my gut feel. Maybe Universal is actually willing to do more, but they can't at this moment because the boys are serving the military, right? So, like, what are we going to do? The people, the artists aren't here to promote. So maybe there are some things that BTS themselves are actually willing to do, the BTS members are willing to do, but their hands are tied right now because they're serving. So I think when they come back as a group, that's when we will see, okay, what is it, what kind of support will Universal really do for them? Because remember, for Colombia, they also had the distribution deal with BTS, and they did a lot for BTS, right? So not enough, but they did more than what Universal is doing right now. But then, as I've said, it could be a function of the circumstance because BTS members are serving the military. Are we privy to the contract? Isn't it confidential? I'm not going to go through the contract of BTS. I don't have access to that, by the way. Just want to make it clear. I don't want to get sued. Universal, please do not sue me. I'm not saying that I have your contract. I do not. This is the general contract on what is a distribution deal versus a different kinds of contract. And as far as we know, right now, what is said in the media is that they have a distribution deal with Universal. Okay. BTS promoters have just been doing the bare minimum. Universal has done better than Colombia, in my opinion. It could be, I understand why people would look at it that way. I think one of the ways that Colombia actually stretched themselves, like they did more than what was being required of them, is when they Dynamite and Butter was a Columbia effort. As far as I'm not sure. Okay, let me rephrase that. I'm not sure who initiated Dynamite. It could have been Bang Shiyuk. It could have been BTS and Bang Shiyuk. I'm not sure. But the effort to try and get the song, that was Colombia. So we know that because they've what's his name? Stewart, the guy who wrote the guy who wrote Dynamite, actually told the story. So Ron Perry, who was then the CEO of Columbia, sent out an email or called out to everybody saying that they're looking for a song, but they were not like, they did not know what it was for, but they were told that it was a summer song. It has to be something good, something lively or whatever. So he submitted Dynamite, and that is what was chosen. So, and then the radio was their effort. Now, when they did Butter, Ron Perry, this is speculation. Again, just want to make it clear to everybody, this speculation. They knew radio wouldn't give BTS any spins because of the success of Dynamite. It was like, what the hell? These are not your usual industry people. So anyway, so what Ron Perry did was put his name as a songwriter in Butter. Then stations were like, oh, it's Ron Perry's song. So they played it. So everyone, if you go back during that time and you listen to like reporters, if you read different articles, people were questioning, like, Ron Perry has never written a single song in his life. Why would he write? How on earth would he contribute to Butter? I was like, duh, because it's the only way he can get radio spins. There is no collaborator in Butter. It was just them. The collaboration with Megan Thee Stallion came much, much later. And they couldn't even release it. Remember, they were having some legal problems because the label of Megan Thee Stallion was actually fighting her on it. So I think Colombia just like was looking for a way on how to guarantee spins, and so he put his name there. It's like, okay, put my name. Then all this radio station would be like, oh, it's Ron Perry, it's his song, so let's play it. I think it was more a marketing strategy for him, or a sales strategy, or a business strategy than anything. That's just my speculation. Of course, the success of Butter, Dynamite, Permission to Dance, of course, Colombia had a lot to gain from that. Okay. All right. I'm looking for questions. I think the guy who wrote Dynamite can retire off that song. He did say David Stewart is the name, right? So I'm pretty sure the last name is Stewart. I just can't remember the first name if it is David. So he did say in the interview, he like went through the song. It's on YouTube if you want to search for it, like how he made Dynamite. He did say that he now has a studio. So before Dynamite, he was on his parents' kitchen. That's where he was making music. David Stewart, yes. So he was making music through that. And then after Dynamite, he was able to get his own studio. And then he wrote 3D as well. Okay, I hope it will change when OT7 is back. The comfort of the bonuses that they have put the work in so that they could sell. I thought Dynamite came from Ed Sheeran. No, Permission to Dance came from Ed Sheeran. I remember this funny story about Ed Sheeran. So the first song that he wrote for them was Make It Right. What was the first song that he wrote for them? But I remember him on the show of Jimmy Fallon, and he was saying like, oh, if there's any armies out there, can you please tell BTS to look up my song? Because I think he gave BTS this. PTD is not the first song that he wrote for them, it's another one. And he was like, can you please tell them to listen to my song, because I think he gave it like a year before and he hasn't heard anything. Make It Right, yeah, so he hasn't heard anything from them. So it's like, can they please sing my song or something like that. So it was funny. It's like, you're Ed Sheeran and you're like you're asking armies to be your messenger. Like, come on, pick up the phone and call them. Yeah, so it was just a funny story. Okay, now since we're actually talking about BTS, just want to appreciate the things that BTS has done for us, and BTS the things that BTS has actually done for art and other things. So they've done a lot of projects that are actually free. So projects that they've spent for and actually never earned anything from it. So, and in many of these projects they've actually spent like millions and millions of dollars. So I don't know of any other group who has done things like this. So the very first one is BTS Connect, which confused a lot of people when they launched this. So they no one really understood why they were doing it. It's an exhibit across the world, so different continents. So there were contemporary artists who displayed their artwork. The one thing that spoiled it, as Bang Luna actually expressed already, is COVID. But I thought it was a great idea. Now they were asked why they were doing it because it was confusing for a lot of people, and especially confusing for a lot of K-pop fans. Because a lot of K-pop fans are not used to this kind of thing. Like, why would you do an exhibit of works that is not your work? Like, some groups, like some idols, have already done their own exhibit, but it's their work. This one is not their work. Like, what the hell? So it was very, very confusing for a lot of people. So in the course of the different interviews that they've provided in connection with this, they've said some reasons and why they were doing it. Number one is that they wanted to expand the conversation about contemporary art and make it more accessible to people. So, which I think is not really a far-fetched idea, because we know that they are all art lovers. We know that RM is on top of the list. I think he can be a curator one day. He can have, like, I think he should have his own, like, museum someday. So anyway, so that's not, but we all know that everyone is actually a lover of art. Like, even J-Hope loves art. V, although eccentric, he does love art, and so does the rest of the members. So it's not really a strange thing for me, at least, and I'm sure it's not a strange thing for you as a fan of BTS, because we all know how much they love art. The other thing they said is that they actually wanted to create a global art movement that is sort of aligned with their BTS philosophy. And when they say BTS philosophy, it's about their messaging: love yourself, express yourself, speak yourself. And the other thing is something that is more aligned with their narrative, with the kind of music and creative and art that they actually do, where everything is connected, where there is always a reason or a narrative, a deeper narrative than what you would usually get from music. Next reason is supporting independent artists who challenge mainstream artistic convention, and that is very much consistent with who they are, right? Because they challenge artistic mainstream artistic conventions of a singer. So they wanted to sort of give that same thing to other artists as well. But I also feel like there's something more to it. Like, I believe these reasons. I think these are the reasons they actually did connect. But I also feel that they just wanted to evolve as a brand. Like, they wanted to evolve as the brand of BTS while helping contemporary artists. So it's a way to give back, since they reference a lot of other artists, but also it will allow them to give back to the artists to the world that they often reference in their work, but also evolve the brand of BTS. Because after this, there were a lot of snobs, like, purists. They did not like what BTS did. Like, working with all of these contemporary artists and stuff. But there were people who became more open to BTS and who became more open to their messaging. So I think it kind of worked. If you missed it, the website, if you want to check the global exhibit, they do have a website. It's still there. So the artworks that were displayed and all of those things, it's still there. So just search on Google and you will be able to find BTS Connect. Okay, do you have any questions about BTS Connect? I think it's super important, and I wish that everybody could just actually go and I wish that they could actually reinstall everything. But anyway, so do you have questions about BTS Connect? I'll look it up, Sylvia. Yeah, just look it up. It's, you can Google it. It's, the website is still there. Okay. This is one of the exhibits. This is one of the museums, well, the exhibit that they actually installed. So if you see it, if you go to the website, just try to like really appreciate the art installations are actually so good. I hope they will do another BTS Connect type event in the future. I hope so too. How much do you think they spent on BTS Connect? Um, Someone actually estimated it. It's about 750,000 per region. 750,000 per region. Okay. Another project that they started this trend is live stream. They weren't the first idols who would do live streams. There were other idols who started doing live streams before them. Okay. Um, but they were the first ones who actually made it regular. So from them, they sort of set the trend where they have like a regular schedule where they will do live streams with their fans. At some point in the past, live streams, well, aside from the limitation of technology, live streams were usually paid. So they were the first ones to make it like super available to all of their fans. They did it on well, at that time, V Live. Eventually, Weverse actually bought it, but they were the first ones to actually do it regularly. They set trends where they were reviewing their albums. So the first one to do it was actually Suga. I don't know if you know that, but in the early years of BTS, he would actually do a review of the album. So if you go to their YouTube channel, it's still there. His reviews are still there. Most often, you would just see his hands and then the album, and then he'll just talk about the songs. And then when he stopped doing that, RM picked it up, but RM sort of did behind. So he would describe the process. If Suga was reviewing the songs, he would actually talk about how they created the songs, like the process of the creation, who contributed, the story behind it, if there's anything interesting. And then after that, it just evolved to them having their own show. But this entire idea of having a regular live stream, that came from BTS. Now, their shows like Are You Next, Suchwita, they earn from those because they have sponsors. But their regular live streams, they don't earn from those. That is why they're actually supposedly prohibited from mentioning any product, because they're not earning from any of those. But of course, if you're talking to Jungkook, if you tell him not to do something, he will do it. So he kept on mentioning products, and the products kept on getting sold out. But do know that they were already informed very early on to actually not mention any other product, but they just kept on doing it. Okay. Um, yes, Youngis. So if you can go back, if you want to go back to the early days, you'll see his unboxing and his review. Festa is also a tradition that they started, and other groups are actually starting to pick up. In the one that is closest to being very faithful to celebrating their anniversary was actually TVXQ. So at the height of the fame of TVXQ, they would do a yearly celebration, and then the three members sued SM Entertainment. The group actually this month. Well, it was they were cut into half. So, but before that, they would do some sort of a celebration. It's not it's not the level of celebration of Festa where they actually have a program and all of those stuff. But it's usually like one day. It's usually a fan meet, and it's usually paid. But as you know, many parts of Festa, those are actually free. Kombucha trended via JK, yes. So he trended a lot of stuff. So this they started, and now a lot of other groups are actually starting it. Not only that, but a lot of fans are actually expecting their group to do something like this. And most of the time, I actually remind them that you shouldn't be expecting this, because before BTS, no one was doing this. Like, you're expecting it only because BTS is doing it. But before them, no one did it this way, where it's several weeks, sometimes it's 2 weeks of celebration. And then often we will get free content, like free music. They will release a song just for Festa, not included in their album or whatever. They have variety shows. Of course, they have a live stream. Sometimes they have meetups and stuff. There are some parts that's actually paid, but usually, majority of Festa, the activities that they do, those are all free. Next, as I've said, no other group has actually celebrated their anniversary this way. And they also celebrate Army's anniversary, as you know. Mixtapes, they don't earn from that. In fact, they spend for that a lot, because they develop the process of actually, not the process, but they develop the culture of actually paying artists who they used as a who they sampled in their mixtapes. You don't have to actually in a mixtape, because the idea is the artist not earning from the mixtape. So if I sample you, you're not earning from it, because I'm not earning from it, right? So if I sampled your work and I'm not earning from it, I don't have to pay you, because it's non-profit. It's not a profitable thing. But then BTS just started paying the people that they sampled. So now everyone is expecting to be paid for samples, but it used to be not that way. Okay, so I think I'm pretty sure August D and RM, his first mixtape, it was actually uploaded in SoundCloud. So it was really free. And then I think Hope World was uploaded on YouTube already. Okay. And then, so since the mixtape is actually free, all of the music videos, they spend for that. For any of the music videos that they've created, that they made for to support the mixtape, all of those they spent for, but they didn't earn anything from it until later when they uploaded it on YouTube and started getting ads, but not a lot. Okay. So as you know, they did Yet to Come in Busan. They spent millions on that, and they didn't really earn anything. They didn't even break even, um, and it was all supposedly a part of the campaign of Busan's World Expo. Okay, so for those who actually managed to watch it, congratulations. That's a monumental once in a lifetime thing. Those politicians shafted. Yeah. Okay. And the concerts and the showcase. Okay, a lot of people are going to debate me on this and say that it may not be paid, but you do have to join the raffle. And for you to be able to join the raffle, you actually need to buy the album. You're going to buy the album anyway. So so right. So but you don't have to pay for the actual concert. For you to get in, it's all raffle. It's just that for you to actually join that raffle, you do need to buy the album. So this is for Rolling Hall is the one for RM, and RM specifically said he chose that venue because he's always respected. Like, he used to go there and like the amount of respect that he has for the performers who did their show in Rolling Hall. He kind of wanted to do it there. This is for Golden. I think it's one of the best setups ever. Okay. And then for Jimin, which is a bit more intimate. Okay. So all the things that they do for UNICEF, those are all free. They do not get paid for that. They actually, if you are a UN ambassador, there are very, very strict rules. And this came from an actual UN ambassador. So in the Philippines, if there are any Filipinos here, I know Leia is one. Lara. Um, so one of our celebrities, her name is Casey Concepcion, and she's the daughter of one of the most popular um, actress in the Philippines. She's a UN ambassador, and she mentioned these things that you need to follow if you are a UN ambassador. Very high moral standard. You can't get into any kind of questionable thing, or you're fired as a UN ambassador. Second, you can't have any kind of political affiliation. You can help your government, but you cannot endorse anybody. And you cannot endorse products that would come in conflict with your cause. So, for example, this actress, um, she she's in the feeding program of UN, and she cannot endorse, and the feeding, the food that they give away is usually, there's a certain food that they give away like rice and something. Then she can't endorse any product that would come in contact that would be in conflict with her show, with her program. So no rice or something. um so it's like, for example, for them, since it's all about mental health, then they cannot endorse Better Health, which is a website where you can access mental psychologists, shrinks basically. So very, very strict rules, and they have to be very picky on the brands that they endorse if they want to keep on being a UN ambassador. Okay, so just wanted to, that's it actually for that portion. I just wanted to like come back first to connect, and if we can sort of revisit that thing, the project that they had. um it wasn't a failure, it's just that because of COVID, not a lot of people actually were able to go there to the venue and appreciate the art installation. So maybe now that the website's still up, we can go visit, and we can talk about it a little on our website or on our social media or whatever, just to sort of highlight that thing that they did. Um, and then if there's also, because I hear a lot of things on social media talking about, oh, this group did this first or whatever. Um, like there's someone talking about a certain group who did the very first light stake, something like that. I was like, that's something to brag about. But the things that BTS did, those are substantial. Like the direct communication they did with their fans, celebrating their anniversary, giving away free concerts regularly, having that festa, the fan songs. I think those are the things that matter, because it connects them with their fans. So those are the things that we need to celebrate. Okay. Do you have questions? Black Suits members is an ambassador to promote mental health care against bullying in the Philippines. Okay. Hi, Juveline. If they hold off on Festa to wait on Sugar, we don't mind the wait just to see our seven together again. I think they will. They might actually. They might. I think they will make an effort to try and probably start the celebration, and then have like a big celebration once Suga is actually discharged. They might, even if it's like just a Weavers live, if they do a live stream with the seven of them together, I think that in itself is going to be a huge thing for us. Like we don't need a huge stage for us to make it like a huge celebration. I think just seeing them together again as seven is going to be huge for us. Festa for a month, I'm down. So am I. I am so down. Someone in our Patreon actually already said that she already filed for a vacation for June of next year, and she already booked tickets to Korea for June because she's going to be there. She's like, I'm going to be there for that celebration. When that OT7 live happens, I will lose my shit. I'm already losing my shit. I'm trying to keep myself busy. So I'm just trying to focus very much on HYBE with his tour. So I'm going to the LA concert. I'm going to go both days, and I think on the second day I'm going to meet some of you, or at least some of the members of my Patreon community. So I hope to get to know you better. I'm preparing something for you, just a small gift, just to make it memorable. But my lone regret is that I should have like bought more tables, but it's okay. Next time, at least now I know. That may break Weverse. I think that's going to break the internet. Like when the seven of them comes back. Oh my god. I think people are just going to, that day that BTS gets discharged, the members get discharged. I think people are just going to keep on refreshing Weverse to see if they're gonna come on. I know I will. So I think whatever happens, we're all going to break Weverse. Less than 5 months to go. I am so excited. That may remember when they were talking about how their hair will all be different lengths when their festa comes. It's going to happen soon. Yeah, I think some of them are going to wear caps. Just I think for sure. I can't wait for the seven of them together. I'm gonna call out of work. I know I'm going to do that. Like, I think I'm going to just, on the day that I know they're going to get discharged, I think I'm just going to relentlessly refresh Weverse and see that I want to, as soon as that notification comes in, I want to click. I want to be there and see it. I don't care if they just want, if they say like, "Hi, we're back." Bye. I don't care. I just want to see it. You're calling in sick. I might join you. I might join you. BTS will be the best mic drop moment to see R7 together again, international armies. Sylvia said HYBE may kidnap them instead of Jin. Or Jin and HYBE may kidnap the rest of them. Okay, so let's continue with I'm already almost an hour and a half. Okay, just want to discuss a little the differences between the training system of YGSM, HYBE, and JYP. So I'm going to try and cram everything in one presentation. There's so much actually. When I was doing my research, a lot of other trainees actually described how each company would actually do their training, and it's the way each company is different. It's just so interesting, but it all comes down to the owners, the founders of the company. So this is the big four, or the small three and big one, or the big three and the giant one. Anyway, of the three, of the four, three actually started out as performers themselves. So, Isuman, JYP, and YG are all performers. They were singers before. Bang Shiyuk is the only one who started out as a producer songwriter. He's the only one that started out as that. So he was always behind the scene. The rest started on screen. Okay. There are differences in their fundamentals. Basically, what each member, each founder actually is looking for in a trainee. And this all came from them. Okay. I'm going to put all the sources in the live stream description box if you want to go and check out the articles. So for JYP, he said the most important thing is personality. Second is passion for what they do, and third is skill. And this is I think it is paying off, because if you look at all the members, all the artists that he signed under his agency, they're all actually pretty like good people, like nice people. I don't know them personally, so I can say probably nice people, in that they get along well. They have never disrespected her. In general, they don't usually get into like trouble, no criminal records and stuff like that. So I kind of feel that he's honest with that he is looking first. He's looking at the character first more than the skill and more than the passion. Okay. So Yang Yan Suk is different. So he actually said in an interview he does not understand why JYP is actually putting more importance on character when this is work. So for him, talent is first. Second is somebody who works very hard, and then third thing is that that person has to be nice enough to be able to work with him. He said, and this is a quote, and that's the source of the article. He said that if you're a young person, please don't get involved in album planning, because you won't be able to beat me. I have succeeded in 9 of 10 albums. This kind of explains why the albums that they come out that way that they are coming out with. Right? So that's why, for example, 21 and Blackpink, they don't have a say in the creative development of their album, because for Yang Yang Suk, he is the boss. Like, he knows the best. So you just go ahead and perform and don't meddle with the planning and the creation of the album. But he's very brave actually in saying this. Either that, or he's just uh he has a lot of confidence in himself to say something like this. Like, you won't beat me. Which is a very different approach when it comes to JYP. Because for Bangchan, I'm sorry for the small spelling. For Stray Kids, for example, Bangchan was given 100% independence with Stray Kids. So the story is according to Bangchan. As you know, I'm a huge fan of Stray Kids as well. So in his early live stream, he actually explained that he's been training. He trained for about 8 years, I think, with JYP. And at some point, JYP didn't know what to do with him. He just knew that he was very, very talented. So he gave Bangchan a chance to form his own group and do whatever he wants with the group, to the point where he's actually, if JYP wants them to sing a song that he wrote, he will have to ask Bangchan. And in their, like, I remember in their show when they were auditioning for it, so it was Bangchan who chose the group. And according to him, he first chose two producers and songwriters because he knew he needed a partner. So Changbin and Han were the first two members, and then he chose everybody around the three of them. But I do remember in one of the episodes in their reality show, there was a song that JYP said, like, that's too high for you. It's not working. So change it. So what Bangchan did was go back into the studio, um, raise it 2 bars higher, not 2 bars higher, but 2 notes higher, and then he asked Han to actually sing it. So that's like, for him, it's like, this is my group. You're going to give me full autonomy, and that was what he has done, which is very different from the approach that Yang Yeon actually has with when he manages groups. Now, someone said, like, if you're a founder, usually CEO has a big ego. That is true, because JYP prior to Stray Kids actually wanted nobody else to produce songs for his groups except him. So he kind of changed a lot with GOT7, and then eventually with Stray Kids, and then eventually with Twice, because now Twice are actually writing their own the lyrics at the very least. Now for Yisuman, and this is from the words of a Super Junior member. I think it was one of the members of Super Junior who said that for Yisuman, you're a performer. So just enjoy performing. Whenever he chooses somebody, his number one concern is, are you going to be a good performer? Like, will people enjoy watching you on stage? That is his primary concern. That's one thing that he's always looking for. And in fairness to him, SM actually has some of the best vocalists and dancers out there. So for vocalists, you have Taeyeon, Wendy, Boa, and Luna. Now, you might not like all the quality when it comes to resonance, like the voice itself, like the quality of, not the quality of the voice, like the resonance, like the uniqueness of the voice. Some people will not like some of them. Like for me, of all of this, I like Wendy the most, and then Boa, then Luna, and then Taeyeon. But you can't deny the fact that they are all good vocalists. So IU is not with SM. So they have a track record of actually having some of the best vocalists in the business. Anybody who tells you otherwise, they're just hating, because SM does have some of the best vocalists, and they also have some of the best dancers. So their lead dancers are actually really good. So for TVXQ, it was Yuno, and then they have Kai is a great dancer of XO. So they have some of the great dancers. So it is true that he's looking at a great performer. That's his number one consideration when he's looking for somebody. For Bang Shi-yuk, and this he said in one of the documentaries, he said that number one for him is the commitment to their craft. So you need to love what you're actually doing. You need to love art. You need to love music. That's just the primary consideration for him. And the way that they train their artists will actually explain why this is his primary consideration. Second is performance, with special emphasis on dancing, or at least you need to make it appear as if you're a good dancer. But most of their idols are actually great dancers. So commitment to their craft, performance with emphasis on dancing, and then you have to be smart. and he's the only one who actually mentioned it, that you need to be smart to be a member, to be considered. So in summary, this is their, like, the main thing that they're all looking for. For Bang Shiyuk, he wants somebody who's committed to their craft, who loves their craft. Because for him, if you love it, if you're devoted to it, then discipline is going to come next. And once you have discipline, then everything else will follow. Because you would want to make that your priority, right? If you want to succeed, if you really love what you're doing, you are going to design everything else in your life in order to make this one dream work. So that's his center, your love for what you're doing. And then for Yisuman, there's emphasis on singing and dancing. For JYP, it's character first. For Yang Yun Suk, it's talent first. So it's just a little confusing for me what he means when it comes to talent. Okay, what they all have in common is the monthly evaluation. All of them, all of the agencies will have monthly evaluation. It's just that for other agencies, so for example, um, for HYBE, they have monthly evaluations and then they have a quarterly evaluation. But all of them has monthly evaluations. They all provide classes in singing, dancing, acting, modeling, personality development, etc. And when I say personality development, it actually includes like knowing what is your angle, how to pose, how to make yourself look taller, all of those things. Even your mannerisms, like how you're going to look at people, the tone of your voice, all of that you have to learn. Now, critical difference is number one, when you're in HYBE, and this is in their trainee development special, their trainee development documentary, they are the only agency where the trainees are actually in charge of their own schedule. So you will decide, like, if you think you're not a very good dancer, then you will have to design your classes so that you can take more dancing classes, dancing, whatever. If there is something there that you need to improve on, that there's no regular class on, it is your responsibility to go to your trainer and tell them. So they're the only one that does that. SM is imperative for them to start people young, as early as 8 years old. And I think if I heard it correct, I'm not very sure, but if I heard it correct, the youngest trainee they've ever had was the late Suli, and she started when she was 6. Imagine that. JYP Entertainment, the debut is actually, the trainees are actually divided into two: pre-debut and general trainee. Pre-debut is when they kind of feel like, okay, you're getting closer to get to debuting, so you're going to be grouped somewhere else, like in another group, and that usually has a longer training time, more dedicated, like you're busier and all of those stuff. And the worst thing they said that can happen to you in JYP is to get demoted from pre-debut to general training group. Usually nobody goes back up. So um but that is another thing that is unique for them. Now, in every other group, in every other agency, once they kind of have a group already, they do have an isolated group. Like then they'll group this people, and that will train as like to prepare for debut. But for JYP, they have a special program. When they think your skill is good enough, then they will isolate you. They'll group you in another division so that they can determine where to put you and who to pair you with. Now, for YG Entertainment, the most important thing is for you to fit their sound and aesthetic. So if you do not fit the hip hop kind of vibe, they don't like you. So that's their first screening. If you do not fit that, it's not going to work. Next, why did SM Entertainment did not? Okay, so for HYBE, because they have varied concepts and varied narratives, they are able to actually group. They're able to train many people and swing you on different groups, because once they have a concept, then they can like rotate you in different groups and see where you're going to work. So that's one thing unique to them. What did I put in SM? So for JYP, it's always Korean market first. Um, so whatever sensitivity you have, whatever like skill that you have, you always have to look for whether or not you're going to fit the Korean sensibility. For YG, they will make you work. So they maintain a very small team, internal producers and other like composers. They will make you work with a very small team and see if you're going to fit in. Um, oh, for SM, that's what I put. For SM, it's always to them whenever they form a group. It's always about what's next, meaning they want to be ahead of the trend. So for EDM, for example, even before everybody started doing EDM, they started doing EDM with TVXQ. So they were ahead of their time. It's just that because they are ahead of their time, and this was during the time of Isuman, because Isuman is actually usually thinking like 5 years ahead. Sometimes people can't understand what it is that they're doing. And by the time they're done with that concept, people are just starting to get into it. So it seems like sometimes nobody gets and understand what it is that they're doing. Then to HYBE, third thing, to HYBE, independence is very important. So if they see that you're not improving, so remember, you have control over your own schedule. And if they see that you're not improving, they're going to take you out because they feel like they can teach you the skills. They can help you hone your skills. Sorry, they can help you hone your skills. They cannot make you dedicated to your work. They can force you to be dedicated. They can force you to be disciplined if you are not. So once they see that you're not improving because you're not taking your classes, you're not whatever, then they'll take you out. For SM, you're given consistent roles within the group. So you're either the mysterious one, the talkative one, whoever. So they will fit you, they will give you the role, and you need to consistently play that role even before debut. And then for YG Entertainment, for JYP, it's embodying the Korean values. So you need to act in a way that is pleasing to the general public of Korea. And then for for YG Entertainment, they will be, even before you debut, they already give you a brand, which allows them to market you very well. So right before, even before debut, Blackpink already knew that they are supposed to be sophisticated, high-end idols, hard to reach, hard to access, barely there. So, and they have to act a certain way. So again, it goes back to fitting the YG aesthetics and the YG sound. And this is what they end up producing. For SM Entertainment, it's always about they interchange, they one after the other. So it's formula, and then they'll come up with an experimental group, and then the formula group, and then the experimental group. So for example, Girls' Generation was actually very formula, meaning it is the Korean group. Like, this is the group that Koreans like. This is the feel, the sound that Koreans like. But they want to push forward, and so they came out with FX, and that is where they put all of their experimentation on. So like, okay, let's do experiment and whatever. So do different sounds, different style, different choreography, and they said that that is the cadence. And so that happened with, even with TVXQ, and then EXO, and then NCT. It's experiment, it's the formula, and then experiment and formula again. JYP has always been very good with girl groups. They say that the only reason Girls' Generation actually became popular because Wonder Girls went to the US. But had JYP not pushed Wonder Girls into the US, Girls' Generation wouldn't have been popular because it would have been Wonder Girls. And then they are very bad when it comes to boy groups. The only reason, look at GOT7. When GOT7 was starting, I thought they were going to be the number one competition of BTS. And it was so funny because they're very good friends. As you know, Yogyum is a good friend of Jungkook. And then Jackson is a great friend of RM. So I thought in the beginning they were going to be very close to each other, but I guess JYP just don't know how to manage a boy group. And the only reason it works with Stray Kids is because he does not control them at all. As I've said, he gave Bangchan full independence, and Bangchan is really running the show with Stray Kids, and that's why they're able to reach this height and reach this popularity. And they actually already renewed their contract. For YG, they have one concept. In fact, YG himself admitted it. So, when Blackpink debuted, Yang Yan-sok actually said, "I did not really try to create something different. This was also the case when I made 21. YG has its own unique style. So I didn't really try to create another 21 either. It's just the same jacket looked different on other people. So it's the same jacket. It's just that different people are wearing it." So this is what he said. "If you ask me to distinguish Blackpink and 21, I want to say I did not try to make them different. If you ask me what differentiates them from other groups, I will say I did not form them with that in mind. I tried to make the YG version of a girl group like I did with 21. But this time, I wanted the pretty girls to look pretty too with skills. So it's just 21, but prettier." And this guy, Yan Yan Sok, actually called 21 ugly in public and in their faces. That's also one of the reasons I don't like them. But him, Bang Shiyuk, starts with the lore. So whatever group he touches. So remember, HYBE is not a label; it's a group of companies. But Bang Shiyuk would actually produce the groups. All the groups that he has produced, it always starts with a lore, a well-developed universe before he launched them, and that's their differentiating factor. And that developed because of BTS. That all started with BTS, so that's why they're not in this picture, because it started with them. Okay, so that's how they are different from each other. If you are a trainee, which agency would you choose? Which agency you think would fit you the best? This is so interesting. Ate, now I know why boy girl groups are the way that they are. I have been listening to Stray Kids music and they are good. And the only issue is at some point their song kind of sounded similar. I guess I'm used to the diversity of music. Yeah, so they're I guess it's generational because younger people kind of are into it. So maybe because Gen Z, maybe because it's Gen Z, they kind of like that sound. I like them, by the way. Do all HYBE labels have the same training system? Like a label that is more independent, like KOZ, would have the same standard as Source Music. The same structure when it comes to training, meaning all trainees have the independence to design their own training schedule. They do have trainings that are group, like you're mandated to take certain classes, but by and large, you still are designing your own training. So yes, they go through the same process. Okay. Looking for questions. Let's see if you have questions. Ronalyn says, "Ate, I actually have a problem. I actually like Stray Kids and got to dive on their discography and find their performances as good as BTS. I got to them on Ordinary Era, but my problem is," what's your problem, Ronalyn? Okay, I'm looking for questions. See. That young seems more like the parents' idea than the child's to become an idol. You mean like 6 years old? There are a lot of one thing that social media is doing is that there are a lot of trainees who you see as early as like 6. They show, like, they would say, "I want to become an idol." Like they probably don't know what it actually entails. Like my favorite member of Meow or Meow, Ella Ross, she started very young. She started 6. She said that she was already interested. I think she didn't start training until much later, but as early as 6, she kind of knew what she wanted to do. She got into modeling first and then started training. Ronalyn said, "My problem is when they release their next album and the next one and the next one, I kind look for something new. So there, I don't know. Maybe because BTS really hits different. And nangapit bahay lang siguro ako." Nangapit bahay meaning she went to the neighbor's house. So I think, yeah, in terms of nobody has matched BTS when it comes to diversity. That's for sure. And I think it's going to be unreasonable for us to sort of expect anybody to be that diverse when it comes to the sound. Um, yeah, I think it's going to be. Le Seraphim has a very diverse discography, and so is TXT. So TXT does have a hand in the development of their music. Le Seraphim, yeah, I think it's not so. BTS, as RM has already discussed, because I'm going back into all of his lives, all of their past live streams, and he actually mentioned like how they developed the concept, and he mentioned that it does start with them, and then it gets developed. I think for Le Seraphim, they aren't there yet, but they contribute. Like in the development of their lore, they actually have a session where they sit down and they give their inputs and something like that. But admittedly, I haven't watched all of their live streams, so maybe I'm also wrong. But they have a very diverse discography. Kinda rude. Poor 21. I wanted the girls to look pretty. Isn't Got Seven's new label Kakao? What happens to them when Kakao sells their entertainment division? I think they only signed. So JYP actually granted them the rights to their name. So they own the name and they have their own label. So their leader, JB, created a label for that the seven of them owns. So they all co-own that label. Um, and I think they just signed a partnership with Kakao, but they own themselves. What is the responsibility? Me Too question. Me Too is asking. What is the responsibility of HYBE to their labels and groups, and what are the labels' responsibility to their groups? HYBE has several business units that everyone can use. So, for example, they have a PR group, and people can use different labels, can go to that PR group and ask them to do PR for their work, right? So, press release, for example. So, they, instead of each of the labels developing their own PR agency or PR division, then they can tap the PR division of HYBE. That's one. A business development group, for example. So the business development group is the one that looks for brand partnership. So instead of hiring a business development manager or a business development team to look for brand deals, projects, and opportunities, they can tap the business development of group of HYBE. So they all share that resource and other things. So they have a team of creative directors, for example, for concerts, which any group can tap if they need one. Who would you join, Fairlane? What would be your artist name? Who would I join? Oh, I thought it was a South Korean girl trainee. I'm probably wrong. Who would I join? Who would you join? This S did SM learn from J-pop, because J-pop trainees started training when they're kids too. He was inspired. So you Isuman is the one who started this trainee system. So he did learn from J-pop. He picked up something from J-pop, and he also picked up something from Motown. I got isn't got seven's new. Okay, who will I join? I think the one that will fit me best would be HYBE. Second would be JYP. Um, third would be SM. Forget about YG. Um, HYBE, because I do like taking control of my own like development. But I also enjoy having the resources that I would need to be able to do what I want to do. So I like that. They also have a huge emphasis on substance. So in the classes that they're taking, they're actually talking about like they actually are given classes on literature, art appreciation, which I like. So yeah. And then for JYP, he seems to be like he's for sure he's not perfect, but judging from the relationship that he has with his idols and the things that his idols say about him, he seems to be like a good leader. I'm sure he has his moments and he's not perfect as I've said, but he seems to be a good person all in all. Okay. I'm the older part of Gen Z, but personally I don't vibe with Stray Kids music. I do think they are very talented though. I am not Stray Kids audience. Okay, who would you okay. So I answered that who I would join. Probably HYBE number 1, JYP second, SM is 3. SM only if it was Isuman. I don't like the current leadership. Not that I've experienced either. It's just that at least Isuman is kind of visionary. Um, so I feel like there's something in common there. Uh, I really enjoy that series of video. Okay. Okay, I think HYBE America has been doing well with Cat's Eye and giving them their freedom plus the connection. I would go with them. Leia said, I like the odd songs from other groups, but no other took hold of me like BTS. I would fall day one under any other companies. I choose HYBE just to have a chance at interacting with the kings, aka BTS. With that being said, in the US, an artist's brand is not expendable. How is it so easy for YG to discard 21, whose brand was so strong? It was the rumor, this is a rumor, is that in Filipino, this is called chismis. This is chismis. So this is rumors. They said that the conflict started with Minzy, which is the youngest member of 21. So when 21 started, I think she was 15. So the contract structure was different because she was a minor, right? So it was very, very different. And when they were about to renew, Minzy wanted the same terms, and YG didn't want to give her the same terms. Add to that, Minzy had some demands, like certain projects that she wanted to do, which YG wasn't cool with, and they let her go. And when she left, that's actually when B- 21 started crumbling, when they lost one member. After that, they just didn't know what to do anymore. It felt like there's only 4 members, one leaves. I mean, you're just what's going to happen. So that's the talk. Um, the other reason it crumbled was because of um, CL. So YG really wants to get into the international market. He really wanted to do that. And his first attempt was with Seven. The name of the guy is Seven. And he sent him stateside, he had a very good like future in South Korea. He was actually competing in terms of popularity with Rain, and Rain was like super popular in Korea. But instead of building his career in Korea first, Japan, the usual route, he decided to put Seven in the US and try, like, put him in auditions and whatever. It didn't work. And Seven himself sort of went through depression because of it. He tried again with CL, same thing. He sent her stateside, but the thing was, and I don't know if you know this, but CL actually signed under Scooter Braun. So Scooter Braun was committed to sort of build her up as a talent, like the female version of Justin Bieber. But according to stories, YG wouldn't let go. Like, YG wanted the final say on everything, and for Scooter Braun at that time, it's like, you want me to manage her, I'm going to have to call the shots. So it was like a back and forth. YG didn't want to let go. Scooter Braun, of course, wanted to have the final say. So nothing really happened. In all fairness, she managed to get into Billboard Hot 100 with Lifted, which is a really good song. Not great, but it's a good song. But because of that, like the confusion as to who's going to call the shots and whatever, nothing really panned out. Scenery chismis. Yes, chismis. Oh, chisme in Espanol. Oh, okay. Probably that's where it came from. I mean, the Spaniards actually colonized the Philippines for 300 years. That's probably where we got the word. Okay. Although I have fallen for XG, XG is great. Like, XG is, I'm getting into them. See, they're great. They're great. 17 gaining popularity in the US, and now some members will be joining the military. Good thing there are 13 members, but Minggu is important to them. And one member is starting to promote in China, right? Like he went home to China. He said he's going to start promoting there. I like Mamamoo because their vocals are superb, but I don't follow them. I love Solar. I love all of them. So I love Solar, and he's my favorite. She's my favorite. Sorry. She's my favorite. Solar is my favorite. And I love their vocals. I love their live singing skills. So I definitely love them. According to their CEO, right before COVID, they were set to sort of expand to the US, and then COVID happened. So that spoiled their plans. Um, Sugar Cookie, I only have time for BTS. XG are really, they are good. They are good. Same seems pretty dumb not to let the guy know who knows the US market industry not to call the shots in the US. That's what I thought. I mean, if you look at, I'm sure, okay, so I'm sure Scooter Braun has his failures when it comes to managing artists, but if you look at his track record, it's a pretty good chance. If I'm going to take a chance at on anyone managing the career of somebody, then it would be Scooter Braun. And besides, at that time, CL was not like super young. She knew her. She had like she's full whole already. Her values were intact and all all of this stuff. So I'm pretty sure she would not fall into the trap of Hollywood teen evil or whatever. So I mean personally I would have given him control, but Scooter Braun control, but YG wouldn't. Those are talks like chismis. um 13 members are too many. They're too many. They are too many. So I think CL makes a great actress. She should pivot seriously. I like Wasa. I like Wasa too. Even I had heard of Rain long before I really heard of K-pop, in years before BTS found me. It was actually pretty like his leap towards Hollywood. That was pretty great. I mean, having done the Ninja Assassin movie was pretty good leap. He left JYP though, but he to this day maintains a very good relationship with JYP. I can't believe one of the 21 members lost so much weight. Park bomb. I honestly think, Vihart said, I honestly think having so many members was deliberate because of the mandatory military service. Even when members gone, even with members gone, it won't feel like they are in a natural gap in performing. 13 members way too many until five go into the military. Yeah. Okay. Last, I can probably make it. I have 3 minutes for before my second hour. I can probably make it. This is just short. Just wanted to some of the groups that I really like, but I feel like they were mismanaged. I feel like they didn't reach their potential. Number one is ITZY. So JYP himself said that he, unlike Bang Shiyuk, the main difference between him and Bang Shiyuk is that Bang Shiyuk actually stays with something until it works, right? And that explains why he stayed with BTS even when they were in the brink of bankruptcy. He stayed because he's that kind of a person. Like unless like there's absolutely no way we can continue, he will continue going. He's JYP said he's the opposite. Like he's good in the beginning and then he starts letting go. And I think that's what happened with ITZY. It's like it started good and then he was like, what am I going to do with you? He didn't know and he just let go. They were the best performers of their batch. They can compete with Le Seraphim when it comes to live performances, dancing and singing. But like they were so hot, they were sent to go on a tour, and then when they come back they couldn't recover the attention they were getting. I think there were so many groups that came in and people just lost interest with ITZY. I feel like at this stage they should be bigger. They are approaching their seventh year. They don't even have brand deals. So I don't think I don't think they're managed well. I hope they renew because I like them together, but I don't think it's they've been managed well. I think they should be bigger by now. ESPA is also another group. They are approaching their fifth year. And I thought so when they did Black Mamba, when they debuted with Black Mamba, I was so impressed. Like I thought, well, this group is just a different level when it comes to performance. And I still like them, by the way. Um, but I think at some point they lost their plot, especially when Lee Suman left, because this was his vision. This metaverse, having Nevis and all of that. This was his vision. And I think when Lee Suman left, they just lost their plot. They didn't know what to do with the concept. They didn't know what to do with the metaverse. They didn't know what to do with Nevis. They didn't know how to connect it with ESPA. And they're just I don't think they're getting maximized. They are very successful. I just think that they should be bigger by now, especially internationally. And of course 21. I did spill the tea on, well, not the that's a rumor. That's chismis. I don't know if that's true, but that's what they said, that it all started with Minzy. And then when she left, when Minzy left, YG didn't know how to evolve the group anymore. And then all of this struggles with CL, he also didn't know what to do, so he just had to let go of everything. The other issue that they confronted was the drug addiction accusation against Park Bom, this one, which is their lead singer. So I think her on her return to South Korea, they found some meds with her, which was illegal in South Korea, but she was insisting it was given by a doctor. So like it should be legal because she's taking it up with the doctor's advice. But she after that, that's when they were let go of their contract. Um, okay, I was gonna discuss. Those are the four that really frustrated me. So I hope that, but I do agree that there's just way too many groups right now and not enough differentiating factor. So I feel like people are just copying other groups, or that companies are not making enough effort to differentiate their group. That's why they all look the same. Okay. Ginger tea, anyone? Oh, it's 2 a.m. and you're, oh my gosh. Uh, doll baby, good night. Okay. So do you have questions? We're already 2 hours and 2 minutes. So do you have questions? Anything that you want me to cover next time? They're cannibalizing each other. Yeah, they're cannibalizing each other. But I also feel this way, the mediocre will disappear and the best ones will remain. I think that's what's going to happen. Like it's a natural process of selection. And it's not just about and not just the mediocre when it comes to talent, also in management. So only those that will be managed well and has a really good performers and good artists with them, those are the ones that will make it bigger, and the rest will just disappear. So when you have a market like this, there is no space for the mediocres. um it was prescription for anxiety and depression, I think, after someone close to her passed away. Yeah, it was prescription, but uh South Korea said that it was like illegal in their country, which I don't understand, because if it is prescription, then you should allow it. There are good groups, different concepts. Bellatrix said there are good groups with different concepts, but not all are big, not even medium. Yeah. It's just that these groups are so talented, so I wish that they could be bigger. Another group that I kind of want to, that I feel is not getting maximized is I've not there yet. They're still okay, but I feel like you better do something because these girls are very talented. What about New Jeans? Will they survive? um I think they will continue to have a career. In fairness to them, I do think they have a huge fandom that will keep them afloat. But it's not a question of whether or not they have enough talent to actually make it bigger. It's a question of connections. We know this by now. Talent is not enough to be bigger internationally. That's certainly not enough. The mere fact that we are seeing a lot of groups that are not talented and they're still there, that is proof that talent is not the only thing that people are looking for. So I think it's just they need to have the right connections and the right business people to actually establish their connection in the international market. I'm curious which GG will be the new thing to fill the void that old shorts leaves behind. Blackpink is still there. They haven't left. Or at least, I mean, they're saying that they have not left, that they are still like together. It's just that they're doing individual activities. Now, after them, I definitely think internationally, Les Seraphim is going to be more popular internationally than they are locally. So that's one. Um, I do think Meow actually has it, primarily because of the members, like the members that they chose. They have connections internationally, so I think they have a good chance. Um, yeah, I think those two. I never felt could be eyelid. I never felt New Jeans impact. Uh, you think New Jeans will be relevant after a couple of years in legal no, no. They need to go to the court and ask for a permission to start working again. They need to do that. Blackpink, it's gonna have a comeback next year. I think they're going to have that's what they said. This year, they said this year. I think old shorts have irritated too many professionals in SK industry at the moment. Maybe after a hiatus. I think BP, Carol Faye said, I think BP is supposed to tour this year. They said that they're going to come back this year and then tour. Belichick said, we have I'll It. They are rising fast and their concept is young. So I think they can easily fill the void. I think Meow, Le Seraphim, I'll It. Um, Elizabeth said, oops, this year, I mean, I was stuck in 2024. New Jeans, June said, New Jeans needs some serious reality check. Lara said, sometimes being a solo artist is more successful than group. That's why some groups don't work. There was like discussion about, what's her name? The solo artist in Black Label, John Somi, John Somi. So a lot of people said that the reason she's not as successful as people thought she should be is that she fits better in a group than she does as a solo artist. Listen to some of her songs, check her out, and let me know what you think. Did you say meow? Yes, meow. That's what I said, meow. Of course, that's dependent on how Teddy is going to manage them. BP still haven't released their solos yet. How are they? How do they have time to practice and turn? I think they were given a deadline because everyone's releasing their songs at the same time. Their albums like February, March, like consecutive. So I felt like, were you given a deadline or something? Did YG say you better finish all of those things before you come back? I don't know. BP still haven't released. Yeah, BP will have a comeback when BTS announces their comeback. What did you feel about Somi is also how I feel about Kang Daniel. Yeah, I think like it's so rare to find an IU, like somebody that can stand on her own. So I thought Somi was actually like, yeah, maybe she's more. Maybe they are right that she should have been. I just really think JYP didn't know what to do with her. Like right after she's in IZ1, right? She was hell bent on debuting. But ITZY at that time was like 2 years, or like they're still training and they wouldn't debut until like 2 years after. So I think it was a matter of her wanting to debut already but JYP wasn't ready to debut, so they had to let her go. I think BP were on a hiatus longer than BTS when they didn't enlist. uh, Ate, do I know Isna? Yes, I love Isna because two members were from Are You Next, right? Two of them. So, and I'm rooting for every member of Are You Next, the trainees, because I watched that reality show. So I'm rooting for them. I'm also rooting for 50/50 because Chanel is there, which is also a member of Are You Next. She's a trainee in Are You Next, contestant in Are You Next. I did not know there's actually a group called Meow. Yeah, so it's yeah, so Bexila said is right. What she said is correct. It's spelled MEOVV, but they pronounce it Meow. It's technically Movia. It's a pity what happened to Chungha and her company. I think that affected so much her career. Yeah, that too. Like she had it in her. It's just that. So that's why I said it has to be the perfect combination of artist and um management company. Okay, before I go, I have a question for everybody. I asked this in my Patreon and I got some very interesting answers. So I will ask this before I go. If well, before that, I have an announcement. So Phaedra is not here, right? Phaedra is not here. Okay. So first announcement, I'm going to interview a an IP lawyer and entertainment lawyer as well. So if you have questions, if there's anything you want to know about like contracts, IP, trademarks, rights of an artist, let me know so I can ask him. So we're going to schedule it next week, meaning I will know when to interview him next week. That's when I will know the schedule. So if you have questions, let me know. I will also be interviewing an actor. He's also a lawyer, but he's acting on the side. So if you want to know anything about getting agents, fees, being a member of the Actors Union, let me know and I'll ask them. So send that to me either on Patreon or on this YouTube channel. You can just ask it in the comment section or in Twitter. Okay, that's the first announcement. Second announcement. I actually want to try something, and this is the suggestion of Phaedra. Unfortunately, I don't see her here, so she's probably not here. She's probably not watching, but I want to try having some of you do a live stream with me. Are you game? I want to have like a conversation, just something fun about BTS, about what you do. Let's just talk about crazy stuff about BTS, about your interests, about our lives. Um, I don't mind if you don't want to be on camera and you just want to do a voice one. I'm good with that. If you want to do just voice and I'll just talk and it will be just me on camera. But I hope that you can be on cam too. We'll just do Zoom. Um, or I think there's like a software that we can use so that I can patch you in. So if you want that, let me know. I will post the link where you can email me and tell me that you're interested. So just put your name, your email address, and how I can contact you. I'll put that as a link in the description box of this live stream. I'll put it on Patreon. I'll put it as a community note in YouTube, and I'll also put it on X or on Twitter. And I also post it on Instagram. Sorry, on Facebook and also on Instagram. So I hope that some of you can actually join me. So it's not just me talking all the time. But as I've said, I'm also going to start interviewing people. So I hope some of you will be interested. It's not just about BTS. We can talk about other things as well. We'll take in questions from people that are watching. Um, yeah, let's just have fun. Let's just have a conversation. As I've said, I want to have a real connection with you guys. It's not just about me having followers or having a bigger YouTube channel. I really want to have a connection with you guys. So I hope that some of you would come on and have a conversation with me. Okay. So that's the second announcement. Is anyone like interested? Not me. I would have to comb my hair and do my makeup. You need more. Yeah, yeah. So let's do it. Let's do it. We can even like I hope we can do it live, but it's okay as well if you want to pre-record it. If you want to feel a little bit more comfortable first, that would be a great to meet the other members of the yes. So you guys. Oh dear, I wish I wasn't shy. You you can do off cam at first if you want to feel more comfortable first. I'm more into sweet GG like okay. Talk about how we're going to dress for the concert. True. Um, After COVID, I'm used to being on camera now. Andrea said it's fun. Lara said I need more army friends. Leah said it does sound fun, but I'm probably too shy to do that. You don't have to be on camera. Ophelia said I'm not shy, just a bit much. Queen Vasha said if my life was more interesting, we can talk about just BTS, just stuff that like movies or songs, other groups that you're interested in, right? And as I've said, if you're not comfortable, we can do it. Um, we can pre-record it, and then we'll air it during the live stream, and then we'll just take in questions after. Andrea said, I'm game. Advertising gave me so much fun, so much to talk about. Okay, so yeah, so I'll put the link in the description box of this channel, of this upload. I will also put it in the community section of YouTube, in my Patreon, and also on Twitter. This is a suggestion by Phaedra. Unfortunately, she's not here. Queen Basha said, I might talk too much if we get on a topic I like. Oh, I don't mind. I like listening. Lara said, maybe we can do it by groups. Maybe we can do it by groups. Bella Chick said the debates and chats could be so much fun. Yeah, I was actually, so this is also a suggestion of Phaedra, because I asked some question. I asked something on my Patreon that was so much fun. So she was like, you should do this live. So we can just like do like a fun debate. And this is similar to the debate of BTS, right? Like their debate topics is like, do you have one butt cheeks or cheeks? Something like that. That's something silly as that. We'll choose a topic and then we'll just debate something silly. um, so something like that. Or like who's going to be a better younger brother among BTS members, or a better older brother? Something like that. Who's going to be a better president? Yeah, this that one butt cheek. Yeah, look, those silly topics that we don't have to do something like social political topic, nothing like that, just something fun. Or we can debate about BTS songs, BTS members, or members in the company of BTS, like or other artists. So if you're interested, let's put it in the I'll put the link where you can fill up. It's just a name. I just need your name so that I know um what to run Asian entertainment culture, run Asian AAs. Yeah. So just I need your name and where to get in touch with you. So it will just be your name and then your email so that we can communicate and set it up. Yeah, and then maybe we can do groups as well. Like have 3 people, and then we'll do a 2-on-2 debate on how many butt cheeks we have, like one butt cheek or 2 cheeks. Jonko Kwaso. Yeah, I think it will be fun. Phaedra, it was Phaedra's suggestion. Unfortunately, she's not here. Okay, so I'll put that link. Just fill it up. I'm so excited to meet all of you and have like more intimate conversations with you guys. And my last question. This is the last. I posted this in my Patreon, and I got some really fun answers. So I'll ask this to you as a closing. Maybe I'll stay on for another 3 minutes to wait for your answers. So the question is, if you're going to join Squid Games and you're given one partner that you're going to be staying with until the end of the game, who among the BTS members are you going to choose? Just one, choose one. And tell me why, of course. Jin, Suga, J-Hope, RM, Jimin, V, Jungkook. Who are you going to choose? Just one person to play Squid Games with? RM because he's smart. Angel Star said. My P said Sokjin for sure. Me too said J-Hope. J-Hope. Tell me why. Cindy E said, I miss our Friday night lives. I might do a live on Friday, by the way, because I might do a live on Friday. Jimin, tell me why. J Hope is a chicken. Jungkook because he's athletic and competitive. Queen Basha said. Leia said it does sound really interesting and potentially chaotic. June said Jin. I think he knows all the games. It's a sure win. Vihard said Jimin. He'll take me to the end. Andrea said Yoongi or Hobie. Why? Lemus V, so mellow. Ophelia said JK, a mix of funny muscles and brain. Pink Crystal said V. CLC said V. Jean Mark said JK for sure. Carol Faye, I answered that JK because he doesn't like to lose. Bang Luna said Jin because he's fit and sneaky. A Jungkook because he does everything well. Bexella said Sugar. Hoan said Jin. ML said Team Sok Jin. V Bellatrix V or Jimin. They think outside the box, but Jimin could be a criminal master and still be famous as an angel. V thinks outside the box. Elizabeth, I haven't watched Squid Games. You have to watch it. Cindy said Jin. V. Oh, that's a real mix. Taeyong, Kay said Taeyong because in the zombie episode, he was the most unbothered. Hoan said V. Elaine said Jin. Feli Aziz because he's not only smart and strong but good heart. Feli said J-Hope. Robin said V. Lara said Taeyong because he will be strategic. Andrea said Yoongi has so much useless knowledge that might be useful in the games. J-Hope knows his buddy best. Definitely not Jin, too competitive. Jimin or RM. I answered V. He's the Hulk of BTS now. This is a better, like a more balanced answer. Danji said Jimin because he is intellectually smart, he's athletic, and when put under pressure, he will win. So in Patreon, I think the answer is Jungkook primarily because he hates losing. Like he's really competitive. He's the first one, and then Jimin is second because I mean we all know Jimin is actually competitive and good when he's not against BTS. Because I think when it's with BTS, he doesn't really care. So it's like whatever. I'm just here to have fun. But if he's against somebody else, he's like, yeah, he's gonna win. Team Kim Sok Jin always wins. Jimin is too trusting. But JK can't lie. So JK can't lie. Janet said Jin because he's smart and athletic. Okay, was that fun? All right. So I hope that many of you will participate in that. Again, that's Phydra's idea. I think it was a great idea. So I hope that we can have fun conversations and we can have like those fun, useless debates. And let's just get connected and get to know each other better. Okay, thank you. It's already almost 2 hours and a half. So thank you so much. I'm not going to keep you all waiting much longer. I will try to always do 8 p.m. From here forward. I will always try to do 8 p.m. just to make sure that more people can join and that like you guys can sleep earlier. And I will try to do a live on Friday. Thank you, everybody. How do you make any money with 13 members? That is a good. Well, they sell a lot of albums. Okay, bye, people. Thank you. Bye.